Welcome to Up Close and Personal with your boy Thesis. Now real quick, today we've got the Ohana RDA by Heavy Metal Vapor and AI Vape. This is going to be a super fun RDA. This to me is kind of the golden era of RDAs in terms of top airflow coming up through the bottom. Just like the Barrage, just like this, there's a lot of them doing it, and it's something where I think it actually improves the overall taste, the overall density of vapor, and the overall, just the way that the airflow hits the coil. I think that it improves the overall experience when it comes to vaping and RDA. So with that said, let's take a look at the box and see what we get. So let's pop this top off just like that. Gorgeous. I did take the coils out, so keep that in mind. Also, I have been touching the RDA, so do not mind the fingerprints that are on it. It did come as clean and sleek as possible. It's kind of this black chrome color. I kind of like it a lot. Two-piece top cap, 24 millimeters by the way. Pop this off just like that. The machining on it does appear to be decent, although you can see quite a bit of machine marks. It's really not that big of a deal. The O-rings on here, as I'm noticing it, no liquid on it, so of course you're going to expect them to loosen up, but right now they're extremely tight. Clear one-piece body. This is super cool that they include this, only because I like this for taking shots for Instagram and whatnot, but at the end of the day, I'm never going to use this only because I cannot stand condensation on my shit, especially if it's a clear glass piece, you feel me? Again, you're not going to be able to get this on or off very easily without any liquid. Take a listen to this. It feels like it's being scratched up. Lube your dick rings, you feel me? Inside the box we do get this coil block. This is going to be easy measurements. I love this kind of stuff. This is like a little bit of an extra that they include inside this kit, specifically because this is a postless deck. Squonk pin, we do have our squonk pin wrench. That's going to be the bigger one. We have the small one for the extra grub screws, and as well as extra O-rings, which I'm sure you will need eventually, mostly because these black O-rings do tend to degrade over time. Right here, by the way, I'm using the Beaver box mod. This is an absolute gorgeous piece. Handmade in the US. This one here is a prototype. Any of the other designs, I do want to go ahead and state, any of the other designs I've seen that have that top flow with the ramps going down, never have I seen it done with this stove piece here, and I really like that. This beautiful interlaced holes like that, that grill almost. It reminds me a lot, like I said, of a stove or a grill. That way that any excess liquid can drop out and onto the juice wells. As having this in a dual coil setup or arrangement, where the fuck's it go? Bam. And having it in a dual coil setup or arrangement like that is going to be beautiful. It's also going to block any spit back from coming up. I do like a bit of spit back, but in a dual coil setup, not so much, only because it's twice as much as you normally get in a single coil setup. Alright, my Ninja Kitties, so today we're going to be vaping Trapped. This one's going to be strawberry raspberry cream. It is delicious, absolutely phenomenal. They are an official sponsor of the channel. You can get yours at ohmadeWW.com. Coupon code Thesis15 will get you that 15% off. If you are a part of the Ninja Militia, it will be an extra 15% off, so 30% on the entire site, as well as that 15% will work for anything on that website. And that Thesis15 does not just apply to the liquid, it applies to the entire website. Again, that stove piece or that grill-like situation beneath those coils, really good idea in terms of this whole design, setup, and concept. You want to make sure there's no cotton on that grill obstructing that airflow. We're going to pop that top cap on there and give us the first puff. Now there are two channels for the bottom portion of the barrel that's going to be able to lock it in place, and that way your airflow lines up perfectly every time. Open it completely just like that. Let's go ahead and take our first puff. Good God, that flavor is spot fucking on. It's definitely a restricted lung hit. It's kind of more of a whoosh sound, which I dig a lot. I can't stand loud addies. Beautiful. That mesh grill at the bottom, that to me is super nice because it prevents there from being any whistling, especially when you've got angles like this. I'm almost tempted to see if we can just fucking do this whole bit. See if we can't fill up that grill situation. Curious. Curious, come on. Fucking A, you absolutely could. Beautiful. Now I do know exactly what this is supposed to taste like. I've probably gone through, I don't know, 6, maybe 7 60 mils of this liquid in particular, between this one and the strawberry custard, and I can tell you that this one's a little bit more muted than, say, something that's a little more wide open on a dual coil system. Where my dual coils, in my preference, I prefer my dual coils to be a lot airier than this in particular. However, I could definitely see somebody wanting to vape on a dual coil setup like this that's as restricted as this is. With all that aside, I dig the way that it looks, I dig the way that it feels. Again, the flavor on this one in particular is a little bit muted, but it's not something where I'd worry about. If you prefer a dual coil setup that's got a little bit more restricted lung hit, this this is definitely the way to go. I'm gonna try it with a single coil. I'm kind of curious on how that's gonna affect flavor, just because it's gonna add a lot more air going around that one coil, and kind of report back on it. I didn't want to rob you guys of this section. This is just a single coil, a giant fucking single coil, but a single coil that's gonna be put directly on the center of these stovetops, of this stovetop. I'm not sure what that's actually called, the grill, the grate at the bottom. I'm gonna see if this makes any difference in terms of flavor. It's gonna be around 0.4-ish or 0.35-ish. Let's go and see real quick. Yeah, 0.37. I've been using this one, I think I used this one in the barrage a couple of times. This is the type of RDA where I want to be a little bit on the warm side. Okay, let's see. Just because it's getting that nice airflow from just beneath the coil directly into your mouth hole. Wow. This one's gonna have to be soaked. Grab this top cap and place it back on. We've got this Ambitions Vapor EH Pro. This is the cold seal right here. Single 21700. There it is. Much looser airflow with that single coil, which is going to be obvious. You know, less shit that's blocking the airflow itself. That right there completely changes and alters the flavor. The Ohana is making the trap to taste exactly how it should. Holy shit. Let's go and drip and hit this one more time. Look at that way that lines up too. Bam, there it is. That is my preference. Single giant coil as opposed to 2 3mm fused Claptons. Simple as that. Bitch, it's okay, mother truckers. Now with that being said, let's go and get back to regular view, son. The final summation is this. The Ohana by AI Vape, Johnny Drips, and Heavy Metal Vapor is extremely impressive. Now look, there's gonna be a couple of upsides, couple of downsides that I've noticed. I've kind of used it extensively throughout the day before I wanted to record this section. I do prefer it in single coil configuration, especially if it's a larger coil, much more surface area for the airflow to hit. At the end of the day, for me, that's a better vape. But if someone else wanted to do a little bit cooler vape, a little bit less wattage, but have 2 coils or small coils, you could definitely get a satisfactory vape out of it that way. That's just not my style of vape. It also kind of blocks airflow a little bit. One of the downsides with having a 2-piece top cap design is going to be it does tend to get a little bit messier than I would prefer. That's all on how you're using it. Of course, it's going to be dependent upon that. At the same time, if you take a look on the inside of this cap and go ahead and kind of dry this off real quick, separate the two. I just dried this off minutes ago. Look at the inside of the cap. You see how dribbly it is in terms of liquid, and then of course right here on the sides. It doesn't affect the overall usage on a regular basis. It just takes a second to clean off as you're using it throughout the day. Not a huge deal. It is vaping. It's going to get a little bit quote unquote greasy. It just kind of takes a second to clean it off. That's simple. In terms of what you're getting for flavor, however, I don't know. In terms of for what you're getting for flavor, specifically in that single coil configuration, the way that I've got it set up, it's definitely worth that little bit of mess. Let's go and take a couple of puffs wide open, show you guys what we're working with. The cloud production, the flavor density, the overall sound of it is straight up awesome. Gorgeous. Those juice wells, by the way, are fucking deep. Bitches, now real quick on Thesis' patented finger of comparability scale, I'm gonna give this bad boy a solid 7.8, 7.9. That's my personal preference, especially when it comes to airflow and especially when it comes to the flavor. I'm gonna say the flavor's a little bit higher than that in single coil configuration. I want that single coil to be almost engulfed. For myself, the density of flavor in terms of using the coils that it comes with, I'm getting better flavor with a larger diameter single coil setup than I am with the dual coil setup. All preferential in terms of what flavors you want to come out on those coils or on this RDA. So again, for me, for 34 bucks, it's a fucking steal. Beautiful. Now, if you're enjoying the content, take a second to hit the like button, leave a comment below, hit me up on patreon.com/ThesisHimself, and of course, always hit that subscribe button. Bitch, it's okay, mother truckers. Now, with that being said, I want to tell you that I appreciate y'all for vaping with Thesis. It is your boy Thesis. I'm out.